This short video is intended to be a preview of ETS's Praxis Core Academic Skills for Educators tests, also known as the Praxis Core. It will provide an overview of the Praxis Core and give you an idea of the landscape of each test. It will provide a brief summary of each section, mathematics, reading, and writing, and provide information about where to find additional resources to help you prepare for the Praxis Core and what UMF has to offer for support. Keep in mind the test numbers are important, as these are the current core exams accepted by the state at this time. So why do you have to take the Praxis Core? Praxis Core is used by many states, including Maine, to determine teacher candidates' aptitudes in mathematics, reading, and writing. Passing scores used by UMF are the same as those required by the Maine Department of Education's for teacher licensure. Passing scores in the Praxis Core are required by UMF's teacher education programs in order for students to enroll in practicum, and ensures that you will meet this requirement for licensure when you graduate. The math section emphasizes mathematical concepts learned from middle school to high school and include geometry, algebra and functions, number and quantity, and statistics and probability. The math section has 56 questions over 85 minutes. Most are standard multiple choice with a single answer, but some are multiple choice with multiple answers where you must select all the correct answers to get credit. Some are numerical entry questions, which require you to enter a value to answer the question. Content is broken up into 4 categories. Number and quantity focus on numbers, the various ways they can be represented, place value, properties of whole numbers, operations, and ratios and proportions. Algebra assesses skills in solving problems and inequalities, relationships between verbal and symbolic expressions, graphs, and concepts around functions, including domain and range. Geometry measures understandings of properties regarding geometric shapes, the Pythagorean theorem, transformations of shapes, similarity and congruence, area and volume, and measurement. Finally, statistics and probability assess the ability to read graphs and charts, draw inferences from data, determine central tendencies such as mean, median, and mode, and find probabilities for specific outcomes. You cannot bring your own calculator to the test, but an on-screen calculator is provided. It's a 4-function calculator and includes keys for the square root, decimals, and a plus-minus key. The goal of the reading test is to assess your overall proficiency in several key reading skills, such as building inferences from the text, understanding themes, and describing the organization and structure of selected readings. It tests your ability to understand, analyze, and evaluate texts of different kinds, and texts come from a variety of subject areas followed by questions based on the content. All questions can be answered using information from the passage. No outside knowledge is required. The reading section has 56 selected response questions over 85 minutes. Paired passages totaling about 200 words are typically followed by 4 to 7 questions, as are longer passages. Short passages are followed by 2 or 3 questions, and brief statements are typically followed by a single question. Content is broken up into 3 areas. Key ideas and details questions ask for explanations of the main ideas and how they lead to inferences and conclusions. Craft structure and language skills questions focus on understanding the craft of writing. Questions target how specific areas of passage relate to the author's purpose and argument, including use of specific words, figurative language, and transitions. The final category, integrating knowledge and skills, synthesizes the other 2 categories. Questions require you assess the text, compare multiple passages, or examine other kinds of texts, such as visual media. The writing section is designed to measure the individual's ability to use standard written English correctly and effectively. It tests the ability to edit written text, develop and write clear and coherent essays, understand grammatical and structural relationships in written language, and use appropriate research skills and strategies. The test is broken up into 3 sections covering 100 minutes, 1 40-minute selected response section, and 2 30-minute essay sections. Questions in this section are divided into 4 parts: usage, sentence correction, revision in the context of a written passage, and questions regarding basic research skills. Usage focuses on recognizing errors in mechanics, structural and grammar relationships, including subject-verb agreement, pronoun and antecedent agreement, and the proper use of modifiers. Sentence correction requires selecting from the choices provided to restate phrases and sentences using standard English and knowledge of standard grammar terminology. Revision in context requires the reader to consider organization, word choice, style, tone, and other conventions of written English. The research skills questions address the types of sources, evaluating the quality of the source, and strategies for researching a topic and organizing a paper. The argumentative essay asks you to write about a specific topic. The evidence-based essay provides you 2 short passages to read and use as sources for your essay. Both essays provide opportunities for you to demonstrate how well you write and your understanding of conventions of standard written English. A note on navigation. The Praxis allows you to mark a question to revisit. That means you can answer a question, but if you have doubts, it will remind you to return for a second look. Or, if you can't answer a question, you can mark it as a reminder to return, both by clicking the Mark button at the top of the screen. You can click on the Review button and you will see a screen with questions you marked indicated. You can then select a question and go back to it. Finally, please consider going to the Google site to find websites to help you review, materials from ETS, information on tutors, and practice sets that include solutions. One note on those practice sets is that the solutions do not include explanations, so possibly consider contacting Pete St. John at the Learning Assistance Center to arrange meetings with tutors to go over the questions together.